on the devil's door long enough, and sooner or later somebody gonna answer you.
Fair enough.
4 brothers. Answer the following question correctly, and you can win a Sony widescreen TV. In which city is the film 4 Brothers set? Details at skymovies.com.
3, 2, 1, down! Compose yourself! Compose yourself! Off you go! Good lad! Get away!
Yeah, well, any minute now, actually. In fact, I should really, what's that? You're kidding. $14.99. Look, I really ought to. Tiscali broadband for just $14.99 a month. What? You get a free modem and free connection.
For unlimited broadband for just $14.99, call Tiscali now on 0800 107 9000.
It's a miracle. I know. Broadband for $14.99.
The sandwich, otherwise known as the butty.
The stutty.
The sarnie. And now new toasted deli sandwiches from McDonald's.
Freshly toasted bread, tender roast beef and mature cheddar with juicy tomatoes and onions.
Topped with horseradish and mustard mayo.
Freshly prepared, on the spot, not from the backs of cupboards. The new toasted deli sandwich range from McDonald's.
Because sandwiches are important.
Svetlana sucks lemons across from me, and I am progressing abominably, and I do not know my.
Here's a true story. Now, my mate has worked in New York for 10 years. Walks the same streets every day. Just puts his head down. But this day, the power cut day, everything was different.
And I find myself towing them Barcadero, and I find myself knowing.
You know, it's true what my mate said. Sometimes things need to switch off for people to switch on.
You can know on this side.
The future's bright.
I saw it this morning at 8, coming out of town.
I saw it too this morning at 8. I turned around and it was gone.
I saw it southwest from here at the lake. At 8, it disappeared in the fog.
Looks like there's more than one out there.
The new Seat Leon, for those who believe in driving.
Autoemoción.
Give of your best and seize that moment.
The match starts October 2nd with celebrity trials on September 25th.
The Carling Cup on Sky Sports in association with Bet365.
Here's what we've got coming up for you on Sky Sports. Prem Plus offerings on Saturday from 12:30. It's Birmingham against Liverpool. And then at tea time, Bolton against Portsmouth, channel 437, or telephone that number. And then the Sunday match on Sky Sports 3 is Middlesbrough against Sunderland. It's the Carling Cup, it's 0-0 between Grimsby and Spurs, but here's the story of the night. It's at Wickham. They're playing Aston Villa. There are 61 places between them. And the first goal scorer, Nathan Tyson, his 11th goal of the season for Wickham, the country's leading scorer. Aston Villa, though, got back on terms when Steve Davis scored his second goal of the season, and that was indeed his third goal of his senior career. Things seem to be back on track. However, 2 more goals from Wickham have made it 3-1 at half-time. The first from Roger Johnson, his second goal of the season, and then Tommy Mooney, his third goal for Wickham since joining from Oxford in June. So that's the standout scoreline at half-time. 3-1 to Wycombe against Aston Villa. Here are the rest of the scores. Barnet and Plymouth 1-1. Burnley 1-up against Barnsley. Cardiff 0, Macclesfield 1. Charlton 1-1 at half-time. Crystal Palace 0-0 with Coventry. Gillingham and Portsmouth 1-1. Leicester leading Blackpool by a goal to 0. Mansfield 0, Southampton 0. Norwich 1, Northampton 0. Reading 0-0 with Luton. Leeds are 2-0 up. Cresswell's got both those goals. Scunthorpe 0, Birmingham 1. Forcella's got that one. Sheffield Wednesday 0. West Ham 1. Zamora after 2 minutes. Shrewsbury 0-0 with Sheffield United. Same scoreline. Sunderland against Cheltenham. Watford 1-1. West Brom 2-1. Wigan 0-0 with Bournemouth. Wycombe 3-1 against Aston Villa. And Yeovil 0-0 with Millwall. We're back at Blundell Park, where it's 0-0 between Grimsby Town, leaders of League 2, and the side who should be scoring by now, should they? Tottenham. Here's Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Half-time substitution for Grimsby. Martin Gritton, a Scot from Glasgow, has come on in place of Gary Jones, who's had to stay in the dressing room because of an ankle injury. That's a big blow, really. Nothing against Gritton, but obviously Jones and Reddy was a powerful combination up front for Grimsby in that first 45 minutes, and they're going to miss Jones, Brian.
Yeah, it is a big blow because the combination of those two were really causing Spurs problems. And, it's a challenge now for Gritton to go and get into this game very quickly, give the type of performance that Gary Jones gave in the first 45 minutes.
Mildenhall with his first job of the afternoon, or the evening rather, in the second half, as King clears his lines. Certainly feels like evening now here. When you climb to our commentary position across the roof of the stand here, you can see the ships in the Humber estuary making their way out to the North Sea, and we've got a real sea mist drifting in this evening.
I'd be bitterly disappointed, wouldn't he? He really would have wanted to play a full part in this game. He's done well, led the line, everything that his manager would have wanted, plus.
Well, they're straight back on the attack here, Grimsby. Gary Croft on to Reddy, gets it back again. Wasn't the worst ball because Cohen had come in from the right wing. It's come out to Kalala. Here's Reddy. And saw the gap and went for it, and quite rightly earns a free kick.
Well, he's been a threat all evening, hasn't he, Michael Reddy? And between Salteri and Jermaine Genius, that's really where you want to be if you're an attacking player, in behind defenders, getting towards the byline. But again, it's a set piece, and it's an important set piece, and the delivery's got to be right.
It wasn't on this occasion from Parkinson. Here's Bolland. Croft takes his time, but he too fails to find the right ball. It's a very good throw out by Robinson. Lee. Cohen worked well to stop him getting any further down that touchline.
He's done well, hasn't he, Cohen? This Lee does like to get forward. Join Andy Reid down that side.
He's only 21, Gary Cohen, and he played under Russell Slade in the conference at Scarborough.
I just wonder whether they might be tempted to, if they can get him 1v1 against Lee at the far post. He certainly got that height advantage if they can aim one or two diagonal balls towards the Spurs left back.
Staltieri. Genus. He's run that over the touchline.
I just wonder whether Martin Yole's just tempted to play him inside one, because at the moment he's really struggling. He's got the option of Aaron Lennon on the bench.
Reddy up against Naber. The foul has been given.
Just a little bit too eager, wasn't he, Michael Reddy? Difficult one for Naber to deal with in the first place. There was no real need to push him.
Reid. Back to Ledley King. He sees the opportunity to slide it into Reed. On for Brown. Good covering by Jones, and he dealt with the problem. Reed. Well, there's promise in that combination down Tottenham's left, but it's unfulfilled promise as yet.
It's made it slightly easier for Grimsby to defend against situations like that, because they haven't had any joy in wide areas, Spurs, and because of that, their players got even more narrow. Haven't really seen an awful lot of Michael Carrick as well, so Kalala's done a good job in midfield, just putting him under pressure.
Brown. Good ball for Keane. Defoe has peeled away to the left and lost his marker for the moment. Staltieri. Parkinson stuck at it well. Wouldn't allow him to make the cross. Here's Genus. Infield to Carrick. Took his eye off the ball. Reddy's challenge, but Carrick was strong. Lee on to Reed. This is better football by the Premiership team. What does Reed do now? He goes for goal, but got his angles all wrong.
Staltieri would have been a better option. He's just acknowledging that, Andy Reid, because the right back had made a terrific overlapping run. And this is better quality. Good pace, good movement. Always difficult to defend against. But what we didn't see there was Staltieri on the right-hand side. And a lot of space to get into.
On by Reddy, and he suddenly got in. It should have been 1-0.
Well, he looked as if he'd done everything right, didn't he? The initial little flick past Naibet, and then when you're looking for some composure, he certainly steadied himself at the moment where he knows what he wants to do, and that's just lobbed the ball over Paul Robinson. He's almost wheeling away, celebrating before he's made the final contact, and that's where he's going. He's heading towards the fans, but he forgot the important part, and that was to finish it off.
What a chance for Grimsby to take the lead. Cohen. Here's Kalala. Grimsby leading on goal attempts. Parkinson. That's really lifted the home crowd here. Not a bad ball either. Well, the offside flag was raised in the end.
Well, certainly followed where they left off on the Grimsby Town in that first half. Worked so well, and a really good period, 15 minutes before the break, and now they've come out. Was he offside? That is very, very close. But academic, really, because they got on the end of it. He's got a feeling now that there might just be something in this for his team, Russell Slade.
Well, I don't know if they heard the half-time scores, but they will have taken inspiration from the news from the Causeway Stadium, where Wickham, who are 5 places below Grimsby in League Two, are beating Aston Villa. Here's Carrick. On to King. Reed and Lee again in close attendance down the left. Here's Defoe. Reed. King tries to open it up. Carrick. Genus. Now Staltieri. This is where Grimsby can get stretched. Useful cross as well, but very decisive defending by Whittle. And Reddy's on the chase again here. He gives up on nothing. He scored a remarkable goal here at the weekend, running from midway inside his own half. Jones has won it. They've just upped the ante a little bit here, Grimsby, and they're beginning to believe themselves that they can win this.
Spurs are the ones with problems at the moment. Martin Yole will be looking on anxiously. And I'm sure between him and Chris Hugh, may be thinking of making changes, because they're certainly not firing on all cylinders, and they're more than aware now that Grimsby fancy their chances of getting a result here.
Well, a loss of Gary Jones doesn't seem to have affected them too badly at the moment. Whittle, the captain. Terrific atmosphere now around this famous old stadium. They were founder members of the league, Grimsby. Their history goes back a long, long way. And that stand on the far side, by the way, is the oldest of its kind anywhere in British football. It dates back to the 1890s, would you believe? Staltieri on to Genus. Naybet. Oh, that's clever from Jermaine Genus. Good play. Lee on to Ree. Keane comes short to receive. Now Carrick. Good ball for Defoe. And on it goes again to Keane. Took a deflection. Away by Whittle. And then by Bolland. Now Tottenham beginning to impose themselves. Brown. Just the wrong side of Keane. Parkinson took a risk.
Did well, Michael Brown, just closing down Andy Parkinson. It's Robbie Keane. A sniff of a chance here. This is good possession play, but very nearly an end product, and that's really where Spurs have fallen down. Good defending from Gary Croft, stood firm. So he's worked hard tonight. You can see that he's desperate to make himself a permanent fixture in this Spurs side, but he knows he's got a battle on his hands. Clearly Martin Jol doesn't want to play both him and Defoe up top together on too many occasions. It's through necessity that he's had to pair them tonight, but maybe thinks that they're very similar.
Official attendance tonight, just over 8,200. That's officially capacity these days. Bolland doing well to nip in and win it back. There's Parkinson. Might have been a free kick if the referee hadn't elected to play on. Croft. Parkinson, who's looked dangerous all night. Kalala. That's a useful ball for Bolland. And that's a corner, is it? The referee has a look at his linesman and goes and points for a goal kick.
He's been terrific tonight, Paul Bolland. You know, the heartbeat of that midfield, him and Kalala have worked tirelessly in there. They've had to. Sometimes Spurs have had a lot of possession without really being threatening.
Easy for Whittle, but he's headed it straight to Genus. Staltieri. Brown. On to King. Carrick, that's a lovely ball. Jermaine Defoe!
When things are not going for you, situations like that, you really expect Jermaine Defoe to take full advantage. This is better play because it had something at the final third. It's a great ball from Michael Carrick. He looked as if he'd steadied himself, Jermaine Defoe. Everything was right up till the finish. And that's a lack of confidence in front of goal because he really has snatched at that. It's a big let-off, big let-off.
Robinson looking for Reed out on the left-hand side and found him with a quite splendid clearance. Reed's cross, dangerous. Jones dealt with it, but here's Defoe again, and Jones dealt with that as well. Brown bundles his way through the crowd of players.
Great determination from Jones there. Two or three occasions. I just think that Aaron Lennon might have just got the shout here. They really have lacked a bit of quality in wide areas. Really seen enough of Andy Reid on that left-hand side. Not quite done enough against McDermott, the right back, and certainly Gary Croft hasn't really been exposed that much down the Grimsby left, and I think that Spurs need to get a bit more width in their play.
Staltieri lucky to have a second attempt. Brown. Reed. Here's Lee. Whittle with the clearance. Spurs will keep the pressure on. Reed's there again. Defoe with a little flick. Clever play from Gritton. Haven't seen too much of him since he came on. Staltieri. Brown. Foul by Bolland.
Just up the pace, haven't they, Spurs? They're looking a lot more threatening now. And Martin might just maybe think again about that substitution, but Defoe just desperate, isn't he, to be involved in the game. You know, there's a couple of big chances that have come his way here tonight, and he hasn't converted them.
Well, all it takes is one moment of Premiership quality, and the tide could turn in Tottenham's favour.
He certainly had one sighted, didn't he, in the first half? Jermaine Genius put it wide from the free kick. As if he's keen to try his luck again.
Referee taking an age to get the wall correctly positioned. It's set up for Reed.
It's a clever little opening, but I think it's probably the last action that Andy Reid is going to see here tonight. Everybody expected Jermaine Genius to just come and strike that and have a little ball to the side of Reid by Carrick, set him up for the shot. Yeah, and you've got to work the goalkeeper.
And the former Nottingham Forest man looks anxiously to the touchline to see whose number is going to be held up to allow Aaron Lennon to come on. Foul by Gritton on King meantime, and that might allow Spurs to make their change. And it is indeed Reed's number 19 that's held aloft. So the former Nottingham Forest player makes way for Lennon. His third appearance since his move from Leeds. He was dropped down to the bench against Aston Villa on the weekend.
Just to see what sort of shape Spurs go with. Lennon's coming over to this right-hand side. Genius has gone in one. So Michael Brown might just be asked to try and do a job. On the left alongside Lee.
Play by Jones again. Cohen dwelt on the ball a little on this occasion. Bolland. Ready. He's had an excellent game.
It's been superb, you know, everything that he's done with a lot of quality. I said at the top, there's a lot of high hopes for this youngster. He came over from Ireland, went to Sunderland, didn't really fulfil early expectations. We're just beginning to realise that the ability that he has got.
Now Cohen. He's peeled away. It's come to Gritton. Good turn by him. Not the worst effort either. Whittle was decisive. Gritton can only help it on, really.
That hour mark now, and you'd expect Grimsby players to start feeling the effects of the amount of possession that Spurs have had. They've done a lot of chasing around in every area of the field, so it's understandable that they might just get a little bit ragged.
Problem for Michael Carrick here.
Certainly a big player for Spurs at the moment, isn't he, Michael Carrick? He's the playmaker, and maybe just gone over on his ankle there, just tweaked the ligaments. You can see there his foot, left foot goes away from him. Be a worry. They won't want to take any risks with him. He's certainly got Sean Davis on the bench who can do that type of job in midfield.
And they do have a lot of midfield players. Clive Allen, one of the coaches, was telling us before the match that it runs into double figures, the number of 14. Genuine first-team midfielders.
14 he was talking. Maybe Martin Yole's going to come up with a new formation. Everybody's talked about 4-5-1, 5 in the midfield. Maybe they're thinking a few more, but they seem to have an incredible amount.
Martin Jol, by the way, reached the semi-finals of this competition as a player in his days in English football with West Bromwich Albion. Ironically, they played Tottenham lost, and he got sent off. And Carrick is led off. Still looking in pain, but I think ready to come back on.
Certainly doesn't look comfortable, does he?
Facing the wrong way. Carrick's been waved back on. Still running a little groggily. Here's Brown. It's an ambitious ball, but Lennon controlled it beautifully and goes for the return. Against Croft, testing him with his pace and trickery. Jones to the rescue again for Grimsby.
This young boy's got real potential. He sort of followed his progress from the age of 14, and high hopes for him at Leeds United. Fans certainly didn't see him fulfil his promise there, because the bid was good enough for Leeds to let him go. But, he could be a big player. He could be a big part of Spurs' future.
I think maybe Carrick is now indicating to the bench that he's struggling. He's got to stay on for the corner, though. Played back in by Lennon. Touched away by Whittle. That'll be another corner.
We're going to see much more of Michael Carrick. Certainly not worth taking the risk. But, short of a week to get himself fit for the next league game.
Bradley King starts to make his run from the penalty spot for this corner, but he's got to delay it and spin out again. And it all came to nothing.
That'll be a big disappointment, you know, to Russell Slade. Well, Robbie Keane's got almost a free header. Ball was really rifled in, wasn't it, by Jermaine Genius? You can see their concentration. You know, they shouldn't really be allowing Spurs a free header, not with the height advantage that they have in their ranks, Grimsby.
Carrick can play no further part in the tie. On in his place, Sean Davis, who's been out with a knee problem. This is his first appearance of the season in the first team. He played a reserve match last week. Missed 5 months of last season with that knee problem. Under 25 minutes to go, and Grimsby can be proud of their performance so far. They've stood toe-to-toe with the Premiership side, and they have certainly matched them.
So give them a lot of confidence, really, or it should do, for the next month or so with their league performances. Got a big game against one of their local rivals, Boston United, at the weekend.
Reddy felt he'd had a little nudge there from Naibet and complains to the referee.
I think if Gritton had taken more of a gamble, you know, he might have got a little bit of joy as that ball went over Reddy's head.
Holland, hustle out of it this time by Genius. Brown, Lennon. Keane takes over. Staltieri. Oh, wonderful, wonderful play by Lennon. Down shot, deflected away, and it took a double deflection. It's a goal kick.
Well, he's already made a big difference, hasn't he, Aaron Lennon? He's just apologising. Maybe the ball in the box could have been better, but what a little audacious flick, wasn't it, past Croft? These are the areas where I think Spurs have been lacking for the majority of this game. And I think with his quality and his pace down the right-hand side, I'm not sure whether Gary Croft will be able to contain this youngster.
He was only 16 when he made his first ever start for Leeds United in this competition a couple of years ago. Let's flick on here. Brave challenge by Bolland, who gets the free kick. He's been outstanding too for Grimsby.
He has, and this is where really Grimsby need to take full advantage. I just think an open play is going to be really hard for them between now and the end of the game. So when set pieces do come along, the likes of Rob Jones, Justin Whittle, we've seen already in a real presence, and then whether they can pick up the little bits and pieces. Are they bright? Are they alert? Can they take advantage?
Rob Jones and Michael Reddy side by side. Martin Gritton in between them. Jones climbed away by Lennon. Oh, that's brilliant skill by Keane. Davis with his first touch finds Defoe. Well, the crowd enjoyed that because it looked for a moment as though Jermaine Defoe was threatening, but Kalala had other ideas. Croft. Ready. Throw-in's gone Tottenham's way, I believe. Yep. Here's King. Brown with the angle ball forward. Defoe, nice touch, but Jones, who's been immense at the back, read it again.
The two centre-halves have been outstanding. Man, you could go through this Grimsby side and pick every one of them out as being heroes. So they might be uncompromising, no-nonsense defenders.
Davis for Tottenham. Grimsby will be cursing the fact that you can't get replays or second leg ties in this competition anymore, because they have been better away from home this season. In fact, they've just broken a club record by winning their 6th consecutive away game in the league. The record had stretched back over 50 years when Bill Shankly was the manager here. So apart from the revenue that a trip to White Hart Lane would have brought, they would have been confident anyway. Here's Davis. Staltieri. Genus. Got away from Reddy with that little change of pace. And finds Lee. Whittle with a headed clearance. Kalala. It's a good ball for Reddy. Just tiring. His first touch was untidy.
He's put a lot of effort in, hasn't he, Michael Reddy, and things are just bouncing off him at the moment. That's where Grimsby need things to stick, and they can play from there and just give them a little bit of respite defensively.
I remind you that if the scores are level after 90 minutes, we will have extra time and, if necessary, a penalty shootout. Cohen. And Kalala got in a moment's confusion there. Genus goes down and gets the free kick.
It was a little bit unfortunate, wasn't it, Cohen, there? He initially gave the ball away. Genus worked very, very hard to win it from him, and then looks as if he's done enough to win it back. Genus went to ground, the referee. Free kick to Spurs, and it's very difficult when you're playing balls into the box and you know you've really got the likes of Naybet and King.
Touched away by Jones. Back into the danger area, my word, straight across that 6-yard box. Any kind of touch would surely have taken it in.
You're just hoping somebody takes a gamble in situations like this. A fabulous ball from Jermaine Defoe. He works so hard just to create the opening for himself, and once that flashes right across the face of the goal. Unfortunately for Grimsby, there's no Spurs player to take advantage of it.
Could have easily caused an own goal, even that. Spurs now beginning to turn the screw a little. Away by McDermott. They can't get out of their own half at the moment, Grimsby, and when they do like that, there's no one to collect.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of freshness in their ranks, don't they? I think Russell Slade will be looking at this and knowing that his side are tiring rapidly.
Brown's given it away, however. Cohen's clearance. And that's gone out for a Tottenham throw.
Well, your concentration levels drop when you do get tired, and that's when you get a little bit ragged. He'll be hoping that Spurs don't exploit that within his team at the moment. But, you know, if you're going to introduce a couple of players, then it's what position? You know, the back four have done extremely well. I think Cohen's worked very hard on that right-hand side. Maybe Parkinson might just be feeling the effects. Kalala's been excellent, Bolland's been excellent, and certainly up front they need something that's going to give them a little bit of a lift.
Davis on to Lee. Holland made the challenge, but this time Lee gets round him. Do for Jermaine Genius. Jones did brilliantly, and the shot from Stalteri was well blocked by Croft.
That was an important block, wasn't it? But once again, Lennon the instigator, and I have to say, because Lennon's come on that right-hand side, it's allowed Genius a lot more freedom to make those breaks from midfield. He certainly looks as if he's enjoying the game a lot more.
Referee having a word with Bolland, I think, about one or two challenges. No yellow card has been produced as yet. It's a good ball back to Genius. All the big guns still up there for Tottenham. Grimsby slammed that door closed again.
Defending's getting a little bit more desperate at the moment, though, and that'll be the worry for their manager.
Anyone who thought it would be a walkover for the Premiership side has been very much mistaken so far, as Davis looks for but fails to find King. It was Jones who won the header yet again. That's a great ball back in. Defoe was onside as well, and he acknowledges the quality of the pass.
Just need to look at the clock now, these Grimsby players, and know that there's only 15 minutes left of normal time. That will give them a little bit of a lift. They really have done extremely well in every department of their team.
Davis turning it long. Defoe will keep chasing with Jones. A little bit lucky there, but Jones finds Parkinson. Lennon wasn't going to let him have his own way, nor was Genius. I tell you what, Jones gives up on nothing, does he?
He's having one of those nights, isn't he? And he deserves the applause that he's ringing around the ground at the moment. He really has been outstanding. He's just playing off memory at the moment, because I think he's incredibly tired.
He's played every game so far for Grimsby since they signed him from Stockport County. Still relatively inexperienced player as well in the game. Not that many first-team appearances under his belt, but he can be proud of his display tonight. There's King. King wanted it back. He had other ideas. Tottenham get the throw. Naybet. And Spurs are camped in the Grimsby half now. But look who it is winning the ball back. Kalala. And again, come well this time. Reddy wanted it played early.
It was a wrong option. Parkinson had a lot of space to the left of him. You can see that Reddy is struggling now. So much into his game here this evening.
Davis. Oh, two players running into each other there, Gritton and Kalala. And Brown is the man who profits for Tottenham. Defoe's up there too, and the whistle goes in Grimsby's favour.
I think that's a good decision. Kalala Needs to just be a little bit careful now. You talked when you get tired. Sometimes it's quite difficult, isn't it, to concentrate. And he just needs to keep things simple. He's put a lot of energy and determination into his performance. Made it very difficult for the likes of Carrick and Brown and Genus.
He's actually an international, Jean-Paul Kalala, for Congo, and he played for them in last year's African Nations Cup. Surely a push in the back there of Cohen. Linesman spotted it. Lee protests. Free kick, though.
I can sense as well that these Grimsby fans believe that their side might just get something from a set piece. Talked about it all evening, about how important these situations are.
Well, Jones has been an absolute hero defensively. Can he turn into a goal-scoring hero at the other end? But it's all about deliveries. You said more than once tonight, Brian.
Yeah, it is. That's a waste, really. We talked about Kalala getting a wee bit tired, and that's reflected really in the delivery from the set piece. It's such a waste when you've got sort of the prowess of Jones and Whittle getting forward in those situations. You really need to take full advantage of them.
Now a chance at the other end as Lee makes ground. Lennon was coming in. Important clearance by Croft. There's Staltieri. Keane's layoff. Brown with the shot. Good block. Whittle this time. Kalala, crowd warning him the challenge was about to happen from Genus, but he didn't heed that warning. He's getting really tired.
He's making a lot of mistakes, but a degree of sympathy for him there, because he didn't have too many options on Kalala when he got that ball in midfield.
So he helps it on more quickly this time. It's not a bad ball as it happens. Well, he had to hold it up. There was no support available. Holland, Cohen, back to McDermott, and all the way back to the goalkeeper. Under 10 minutes to go at Blundell Park. We have to have a winner from this tie tonight. And in the next round of the competition, the 7 clubs involved in European competition enter the draw. Genus, Lennon. Kalala has it back. Good control by Gritton. Here goes Reddy, up against Nabat. Plenty of other defenders covering, though. Nabat didn't need the help.
That's good experience defending, but you can see there with the body language of Michael already, he's absolutely shattered at the moment. He really was looking threatening for the best part of an hour in this game. Now they've lost that a little bit from him.
Whittle. Oh, even Reddy didn't have the energy to chase that, but Parkinson has. Parkinson's done remarkably well, considering at 2 o'clock this afternoon they still didn't know whether he was going to be fit enough to play. Well, all these Grimsby players can be pleased with their performance, but there's no good getting accolades and pats on the back if you lose, and I'm sure that's how they'll be viewing these closing stages. I wonder if he's finally run out of steam. No. Now who's going off is Cohen. Ready. He'll stay out there. A big pat on the back for Cohen's excellent performance from his manager. And on in his place is Terry Barwick, who made his first start of the season at the weekend, as Brown wins it back from Parkinson. Staltieri. The throw on to Lennon. 2 on the far post here, Genus and Keane. Chase hard just to keep that in, Robbie Keane. Now Lee. Brown. Here's Nabat. Well played, Bolland. Gritton. try and get the new man, Barwick, on the ball as McDermott angles it forward for Reddy. Excellent defending from King, but it is a Grimsby throw.
I'll be delighted with that one. They just take the game now to Spurs if you can. What have you got in the tank as far as energy goes? A lot of these players will just be running off adrenaline at the moment.
Whittle. Oh, how about that? He'll tell his grandchildren about that moment, won't he? There's Barwick. McDermott. It's good link-up play. Gritton. Barwick's there again. So too is McDermott. Good football. And he keeps going. What a story that could have been. Parkinson's onto it in a flash. Well, the man playing his 700th game at the age of 36 still had the energy to get forward in that Grimsby attack. But talk about energy. The 18-year-old shows a wonderful turn of speed, but then not the cross to match it. Now Davis. There's Lee. Michael Brown. On to Staltieri. I don't even need to tell you who won the header. He's won just about every one so far, Jones. Lee. The foul has been given against Barwick. Into the last 5 minutes at Blundell Park. Grimsby must concentrate hard now to avoid throwing away the endeavours of a great night's work by them. A wasteful free kick.
You certainly expect better, don't you? The quality that Jermaine Jenas possesses. I'm sure Russell Slade, hopefully they'll get to the full-time whistle and just go around each and every one of them and tell them what big heroes that they already are, but bigger heroes they could become. If they can beat this Tottenham Hotspur side and the quality that Spurs have out there tonight on the pitch, his side will be more than a match.
Here's Keane for Tottenham. A gift for Grimsby. What can they make of it? Not a lot. Although Reddy hasn't given up on it yet and forced Robinson into the clearance, which lands on the roof just above us. Don't forget, tomorrow night from this competition, another live tie. Doncaster Rovers against Manchester City. Sky Sports 2. We start at 7.
The Grimsby fans have just turned up the noise levels. And they're going to need to do that now because their team need a big lift. Fans can really play their part.
Croft finds Reddy from the throw-in. On to Parkinson. Davis got a foot in. And Jones wins it back off Davis very impressively. There's Parkinson. Quite happy for that to go for a corner. Is this to be Grimsby's big moment? All hands on deck for Tottenham.
You really do get the feeling if Grimsby do score, they're probably through the head of Rob Jones. He's been absolutely magnificent for the home side tonight.
Whittle's up there with him. Ready inside the 6-yard box as well. Oh, it's gone in! Unbelievable! Kalala! A hefty deflection on the way, but do they care? They certainly don't. One of the greatest moments in Grimsby's recent history. They might well have beaten Tottenham Hotspur.
What a strike, son. What a strike. I'll tell you what, the technique and the concentration that went into that strike was absolutely top draw. There's a slight deflection from Michael Brown, but I still think that would have hit the back of the net. Such was the pace and the power. It's past Paul Robinson before he can react. And what a great moment for the manager, for the fans, for the players. But what a big moment they're going to have now, and just holding out for these last few minutes.
An incredible story unfolding here beside the Humber Estuary, where Grimsby Town of League 2 are now beating Premiership Tottenham Hotspur by 1 goal to 0, with only a couple of minutes remaining plus stoppage time. And Grimsby have a free kick.
Anyway, that came about, Alan, was when Rob Jones won a challenge from a Spurs player that resulted in the corner kick. And it's ironic, actually, we talked about what a threat Grimsby could be from set pieces, but it was almost the second phase, because they'd won a header at the near post. Spurs thought they cleared their lines, but they didn't reckon on the strike from Kalala on the edge of the box.
There it is, in lights. And Reddy has got in behind the Spurs back four again. It was a terrific strike by Kalala. Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala. He moved here from Nice. I'm not suggesting for one moment that the Humber Estuary is any less attractive than the French Riviera, but it has to be one of the unlikeliest moves of the summer season. You might not be able to spell his name, but you'll remember it after tonight. Spurs certainly will. Reddy's offside.
Well, they've now got something to hang on to now. You know, it's been 1-0 ahead, and through a wonderful volley from that man on the edge of the box. We had a brief chat with him before the game, didn't we? He seemed a nice kid, really enjoying his time at Grimsby. Well, and certainly be the hero of Grimsby.
It's not over yet, though. Keane swivels, and there's another hero, Steve Mildenhall.
Just couldn't get enough power on the strike, could he, Robbie Keane? It was a half chance. Comfortable save for the goalkeeper in the end.
3 minutes of stoppage time being played here at Blundell Park as Reddy tries to make it certain for Grimsby. He might have had a little push there. Robinson launches it long, a hint of desperation about Tottenham's tactics now. Whittle's back header straight to his own goalkeeper. They're counting the seconds here in this remote football outpost that hasn't seen too many nights like this in recent years. Remember, it was 5 seasons ago when Grimsby went to play Liverpool at Anfield and beat them 2-1 after extra time. A strong Liverpool side as well. They beat Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday when they were both Premiership clubs. And here could be another result that will go into folklore.
I have to say, Alan, it's been fully deserved. They've worked hard, a good shape to their side, every department, have carried out the instructions of their manager. Spurs have had a couple of opportunities, but they haven't really troubled Mildenhall on that many occasions. But can they hang on?
Robinson will launch the free kick as deep as he can find. King got up, Jones headed it away, Jones is there again. A wild effort then, takes the ball well wide of the Grimsby goal, and a disappointed Jermaine Jenas has almost accepted defeat now. And looking at the body language of those Tottenham players, he's not alone in that.
You can see it from the strike from Jermaine Jenas. Well, big upsets don't come along that often, do they, at Blundell Park? And they're on the verge of one.
When you're in the basement division of English football, you don't get many moments like this. But they haven't clinched victory yet. Tottenham are throwing everyone forward. Under a minute to go as Brown swings it in. Jones is there, and so is the final whistle. Grimsby have beaten Spurs. Unbelievable, and I have to say, thoroughly deserved. Thousands of fans pouring onto the pitch, and there's the main man, Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala from the Congo, via Nice to the Humber Estuary to stardom overnight. Kalala has KO'd Tottenham. And this modest young man, whose biggest disappointment of the night was that Noé Paramo, the Tottenham defender who he used to play with at Nice, wasn't in the squad because he was injured. Now has a very good reason to celebrate, if he can make his way back to the dressing rooms, that is. Well, for clubs like this, who received a cheque for £5,000 from their supporters trust before the kick-off, money is everything. But tonight is not about money. They've beaten Tottenham. They could draw another big club in the next round. But this is about glory, not about cash. Wonderful scenes here. And even those big tankers out in the estuary will be rocking to the sounds from this historic old ground. And if one man deserves to be hoisted aloft, it's him, Brian.
He was terrific, wasn't he? I don't know whether he's standing up or he's actually on somebody's shoulders. He's that big, but he was really a magnificent presence. I have to say, I think at times Spurs played into the hands of the two centre-backs because they just launched balls in there, and Whittle and Rob Jones were absolutely magnificent. But they deserve everything that's come their way tonight, those Grimsby players. And not many want to leave the pitch because it's moments like this that you treasure, you value, you hang on to as long as you possibly can. And I'll tell you what, those fans will take some shifting.
And isn't it amazing, you know, Russell Slade, when he was a rookie manager, he'd only been in the job for a few months, was in charge of a Notts County team who beat Spurs 3-0 in this competition. That was over 10 years ago. Let's just have a listen to that joyous dressing room.
Tonight, are you? That'll be some party in Grimsby.
I think it'll be more than fish and chips on the menu tonight. You cannot begrudge Grimsby their moment of glory. They played exceptionally well here tonight. And even in the second half, when Tottenham were pouring forward in their droves, they never really looked in serious trouble. And then they got that golden goal. Grimsby Town 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Thanks, Alan. That is what cup football is all about. What a result for Grimsby Town. 60 places between those two teams, and you wouldn't have known it tonight. Wonder what we've got in store tomorrow night when Doncaster are at home to Manchester City. You have been warned, City. Sky Sports 2 tomorrow from 7 o'clock. Then some very interesting Spanish football. 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, Barcelona, who lost last time out of the weekend 2-1 against Valencia, and Real Madrid are in all sorts of turmoil against Athletic Bilbao. Just to repeat, we think that Jonathan Woodgate is going to start for Real Madrid in that match on Thursday. When we come back, we'll find out if there are any more shocks in the Carling Cup. We've got cameras at all these locations: Charlton, Gillingham, Mansfield, Rotherham, Scunthorpe, Sheffield Wednesday and Wickham, who were leading Aston Villa 3-1 at half-time. Trevor, what a fantastic, fantastic cup game that was, and we'll get Trevor's thoughts when we come back. I'll give you his full name, as Alan Parry was saying, Jean-Paul Kamedimba Kalala. What will the headline writers make about that? Russell Slade has done it for Tottenham again.
The Carling Cup on Sky Sports, in association with Bet365.
Curious? Then follow me. Sky Sports unveils a whole new concept, A1 Grand Prix. With 25 nations on the starting grid, it's country versus country. In identical cars, same tyres, same engines, it'll be the ultimate test for the driver.
A1 Grand Prix, live from Brands Hatch, starts this weekend on Sky Sports.
Get ready for Citroen's best ever value. The new C4 from just $9,595. And the Zara Picasso from just $9,995. Now both available with typical 0% APR with 35% deposit. Citroen, pushing value to the limit.
I'd love a Mint card. You get so much more. 0% interest, a low APR, and security when you shop online.
Well, there's no good reason not to get one.
I know. It's just the shape. Reminds me of an ex-boyfriend I'd rather forget. Mum, Dad, this is Neville.
Sorry we're late. A two! Oh, sorry, yes, mate. Oh. A two! A two!
Wow.
I know.
Get more, get Mint. You'd need a seriously good reason not to.
It's the day before the family holiday, and the brakes start making this funny squealing sound. Talk about timing. I tried a few garages, but nobody would give me the time of day without an appointment. I heard QuickFit were good, so I gave them a try. Now, they're really busy, but I explained my story to the guys, and they just bent over backwards to fit me in. They even did the job then and there, so they saved the holiday. Pity they didn't fix the weather. QuickFit will fix it.
Oi, Churchill, could you save me up to 160 quid on my car insurance?
Oh, yes.
With 24-hour assistance if I have an accident?
Yes.
A 5-year guarantee on repairs?
Yes.
A courtesy car while you're fixing mine?
Oh, yes.
Oh, and can I have my own personal chauffeur called Les?
No.
But I could still save up to 160 quid on my car insurance?
Oh, yes.
See how much you could save on your car insurance. Give the dog a phone now on 0800 200 300 or log on to churchill.com.
I love you.
Steady now.
They say New Yorkers can be demanding. But if an expectation that things be done quickly and to a certain level of perfection is demanding, well then yeah, we're demanding.
You can't drive it, park it.
He's a pussycat, really. We just have a highly developed sense of what we want out of life.
You're flying American, right?
Absolutely.
We've flown more New Yorkers to destinations around the world than any other airline. And if we can keep them happy.
Get every Barclays Premiership goal on match day. And watch Sky Sports Soccer Saturday with Vodafone Live.
Stand up in here all day, wasting my time for somebody that don't even appreciate it.
More and more people are choosing npower for their gas and electricity. Take both, and you could have a £50 discount automatically every year. You, us, gas and electricity, happy together.
The Carling Cup on Sky Sports in association with pt2.
Grimsby 1, Tottenham 0. 88th minute, Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala lets all do the Congo. And everybody is, including manager Russell Slade, who's beaten Tottenham again, and here he is in a dressing room full of mayhem.
Russell, 11 years ago, you're the manager of Notts County, knocked Tottenham out the League Cup. You've done it again tonight. Describe your emotions.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the lads were tremendous tonight. Their attitude throughout the game was superb. The game plan was brilliant. They've lost the discipline now, of course, but we'll recover from that. No, it's a great night for the town, for the club, supporters, players alike. We deserved it because we worked so hard so far this season, and the important thing is we now need to keep that going.
The longer the game went on in the second half, were you thinking we've done well here to perhaps take it into extra time? Did you always fancy you could nick one?
That was the last thing I needed, extra time. That was the last thing I needed was extra time tonight, I tell you.
What about the orange?
I wanted the game over quickly. But as it happens, to get a goal in the last 5 minutes was ideal, wasn't it?
What do you think of the goal?
Oh, great finish. He's had a great game tonight, as all 11 of them have tonight, yeah.
Jean-Paul alongside you, you're the biggest name in football in your shirt, and you certainly will be the biggest name in the headlines tomorrow morning. What do you think of winning it?
I don't know, I'm just happy for the team because we worked so hard in this game, and everybody, I'm happy for everybody.
What was going through your mind at the goal when the ball broke to you off the corner?
I was just happy, you know. Every time I hit the ball is going over the top. So this time I hit the target, and I'm happy for that.
Jean-Paul, you are the Carling man of the match tonight. Well played.
Okay, thank you.
That's Fraser Robinson missing in action, I think. Now then, Trevor, what do you make of that result?
You have to say it was deserved, because the only way I could see Spurs losing was if they didn't apply themselves right. And you have to ask questions about the way that one or two of their players performed. I thought the opposition had more determination about them. You know, they had a greater work ethic, they played with more passion.
Who underperformed?
A number of Spurs players, and when you consider, you know, the difference in quality of the two teams, that result should never happen. But that's why the Cup is so magical. You know, Grimsby, really, they had a good game plan. 4-4-2 they played. They defended heroically. Two centre-halves, Whittle and Jones, were outstanding.
You're going to name names or not?
In midfield, I can name Grimsby's names.
No, go on. Name some couple of Spurs players that you think underperformed.
No, it's not for me. You know, Martin Yeo will be in the dressing room now, having an inquest. He'll know exactly who he's going to have point the finger at, because there were too many players who didn't play with the passion that you'd expect. You know, supporters have made a long journey up there for this match, and you know they haven't got what they've deserved tonight. And we've got a surprise, a shock, but it wasn't undeserved. You know, second half, really, I expected so much more from Spurs. When a team like that loses, you automatically think, well, the opposing goalkeeper must have been the man of the match.
Yeah.
But apart from one save first half from Andy Reid at his feet, he didn't really have that much to do.
Did Robinson have any chance with the goal, do you think?
Absolutely no chance. You know, we knew it was going to come from a set piece. It wasn't the best corner, actually. Sean Davis heads it, well, what is it, 25 yards out.
Is there a deflection there off maybe Brown?
You're going to tell him that's an own goal then?
I'm certainly not. It's up to you.
It was an absolutely brilliant volley. I think if it had not touched the foot of Brown, it still would have been destined for the back of the net. It was just a great technical, ability from. Was he from the Congo?
Yes, he was from the Congo. He is from the Congo.
Great strike. He did well all night. Him and Bolland in midfield played with terrific energy, and they thoroughly deserved it.
Oh, I wonder what Spurs manager Martin Jol made of it. He's with Fraser Robertson right now.
Martin, what have you said to the players after that?
No, we deserved it, you know. I think all credits to them. I don't think they did a lot the second half, but you have to score goals, and if you're not sharp enough, it's a big lesson, I think, for our lads. Everybody wants to play, but we look under 18 team today, and if you only create 3 or 4 chances against a second division club, you don't deserve anything.
And the context of the result against the League Two side, is that an embarrassment for a team of Tottenham's class?
Yeah, but I mean, in the past we had some difficult games as well. Last year against Nottingham Forest at home, Brighton. We tend to have some problems with teams who play like that. But I mean, we have to learn a lesson, and hopefully we did today.
What went wrong then as the second half wore on? You seem to be less and less involved in the game, creating chances.
Oh, I think they worked hard. That was not a problem. The problem is if you don't play good football, if you can't hold the ball, if you don't support each other, play the normal thing, play over the flanks. I think our best player was Aaron Lennon. He's 18 years of age, and that says it all.
How are the players in there at the moment?
No, I think only